Genesis 30. Soon after the birth of Joseph to Rachel, Jacob said to Laban, I want to go back home. Let me take my wives and children, for I have earned them from you. And be gone, for you know how fully I have paid for them with my service to you. Please don't leave me, Laban replied, for a fortune teller I consulted told me that the many blessings I have been enjoying are all because of your being here. How much of a raise do you need to get you to stay? Whatever it is, I'll pay it. Jacob replied, You know how faithfully I've served you through these many years, and how your flocks and herds have grown. For it was little indeed you had before I came, and your wealth has increased enormously. Jehovah has blessed you from everything I do. But now, what about me? When should I provide for my own family? What wages do you want? Laban asked again. Jacob replied, If you will do one thing, I'll go back to work for you. Let me go amongst your flocks today and remove all the goats that are speckled or spotted, and all the black sheep. Give them to me as my wages. Then, if you ever find any white goats or sheep in my flock, you will know that I have stolen them from you. All right, Laban replied, it shall be as you have said. So that very day Laban went out and formed a flock for Jacob of all the male goats that were ringed and spotted, and the females that were speckled and spotted with any white patches, and all of the black sheep. He gave them to Jacob's sons to take them 3 days' distance, and Jacob stayed and cared for Laban's flock. Then Jacob took fresh shoots from poplar, almond, and sycamore trees, and peeled white streaks in them, and placed these rods beside the watering troughs, so that Laban's flocks would see them when they came to drink. For that is when they mated. So the flocks mated before the white streaked rods, and their offspring were streaked and spotted, and Jacob added them to his flock. Then he divided out the ewes from Laban's flock, and segregated them from the rams, and let them mate only with Jacob's black rams. Thus he built his flocks from Laban's. Moreover, he watched for the stronger animals to mate, and placed and peeled branches before them, but didn't with the feebler ones. So the less healthy lambs were Laban's, and the stronger ones were Jacob's. As a result, Jacob's flocks increased rapidly, and he became very wealthy, with many servants, camels, and donkeys. Genesis 31. But Jacob learned that Laban's sons were grumbling. He owes everything he owns to our father. All his wealth is at our father's expense. Soon Jacob noticed a considerable cooling in Laban's attitude towards him. Jehovah now spoke to Jacob and told him, Return to the land of your fathers and to your relatives there, and I will be with you. So one day Jacob sent for Rachel and Leah to come out to the field where he was with the flocks, to talk things over with them. Your father has turned against me, he told them, and now the God of my fathers has come and spoken to me. You know how hard I've worked for your father, but he has been completely unscrupulous and has broken his wage contract with me again and again and again. But God has not permitted him to do me any harm. For if he said the speckled animals would be mine, then all the flocks produced speckled. And when he changed and said I could have the streaked ones, then all the lambs were streaked. In this way, God has made me wealthy at your father's expense. And at the mating season, I had a dream, and saw that the he-goats mating with the flock were streaked, speckled, and mottled. Then, in my dream, the angel of God called to me and told me that I should mate the white female goats with streaked, speckled, and spotted male goats. For I have seen all that Laban has done to you, the angel said. I am the God you met at Bethel, he continued, the place where you anointed the pillar and made a vow to serve me. Now, leave this country and return to the land of your birth. Rachel and Leah replied, That's fine with us. There's nothing for us here. None of our father's wealth will come to us anyway. He has reduced our rights to those of foreign women. He sold us, and what he received for us has disappeared. The riches God has given you from our father were legally ours and our children to begin with. So go ahead and do whatever God has told you to do." So one day, while Laban was out shearing sheep, Jacob set his wives and sons on camels and fled without telling Laban his intentions. He drove the flocks before him. Jacob's flocks he had gotten there at Padan Aram, and took everything he owned and started out to return to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. So he fled with all of his possessions, and Rachel stole her father's household gods and took them with her, and crossed the Euphrates River and headed for the territory of Gilead. Laban didn't learn of their flight for 3 days. Then, taking several men with him, he set out in hot pursuit and caught up with them 7 days later at Mount Gilead. That night, God appeared to Laban in a dream. "Watch out what you say to Jacob," he was told. "Don't give him your blessing, and don't curse him." Laban finally caught up with Jacob as he was camped at the top of a ridge. Laban, meanwhile, camped below him in the mountains. "What do you mean by sneaking off like this?" Laban demanded. "Are my daughters prisoners, captured in a battle, that you have rushed them away like this? Why didn't you give me a chance to have a farewell party, with singing and orchestra and harp? Why didn't you let me kiss my grandchildren and tell them goodbye? This is a strange way to act. I could crush you, but the God of your father appeared to me last night and told me, 'Be careful not to be too hard on Jacob.' But see here, though you feel you must go, and long so intently for your childhood home, why have you stolen my idols?" "I sneaked away because I was afraid," Jacob answered. "I said to myself, 'He'll take his daughters from me by force.' But as for your household idols, a curse upon anyone who took them. Let him die. If you find a single thing we've stolen from you, I swear before all these men, I'll give it back without question." For Jacob didn't know that Rachel had taken them. Laban went first into Jacob's tent to search there, then into Leah's, and then searched the 2 tents of the concubines, but didn't find them. Finally, he went into Rachel's tent. Rachel, remember, was the one who had stolen the idols. She had stuffed them into her camel saddle and was now sitting on them. So although Laban searched the tents thoroughly, he didn't find them. Forgive my not getting up, father," Rachel explained, "but I'm having my monthly period." So Laban didn't find them. Now Jacob got mad. "What did you find?" he demanded of Laban. "What is my crime? You have come rushing after me as though you were chasing a criminal and have searched through everything. Now put everything I stole out here in front of us, before your men and mine, for all to see and to decide whose it is. 20 years I've been with you, and all that time I cared for your ewes and goats so they produced healthy offspring. And I never touched one ram of yours for food. If any were attacked or killed by wild animals, did I show them to you and ask you to reduce the count of your flock? No, I took the loss. You made me pay for every animal stolen from the flocks, whether I could help it or not. I worked for you through the scorching heat of the day, through the cold and sleepless nights. Yes, 20 years, 14 of them earning your 2 daughters, and 6 years to get the flock. And you have reduced my wages 10 times. In fact, except for the grace of God, the God of my grandfather Abraham, even the glorious God of Isaac, my father, you would have sent me off without a penny to my name. But God has seen your cruelty and my hard work, and that is why he appeared to you last night.